Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that the Shanti Parva had ended with Bhīṣma's discourses on Raja Dharma, Apad Dharma and Moksha Sadhanas. Yudhishthira and others were visiting Bhīṣma on his Sharashaya for elaborate discourses till the arrival of Uttarayana Punyakalam. In this Parva, Bhīṣma continued his talks about disciplines to be followed, fate versus free will, rules about dhanam, giving, philosophies of compassion and non-violence, duties and rights of women, devotion towards Shiva and Parvati, devotion towards Vishnu and Lakshmi, etc. Hence, this Parva is aptly named as Anuśāsana Parva, which means rules and disciplines to be followed by everyone. Here, Bhīṣma laid down the rules of Sanatana Dharma that are to be followed even to this day. Only the last few days were left before Bhīṣma would leave this mortal world. Sages Vasishta, Valmiki, Vyasa, Maitreyi, Sanat Kumara, Kapila, Narada and others would also come to listen to his discourses. Yudhishthira asked all the questions. Yudhishthira asked, there are many aspects of performing dharma. What are the key factors one has to remember while performing his actions? Bhīṣma replied, respecting one's mother, father and guru are fundamental. One will incur the highest form of sin by not doing so. One should have always immense respect for his guru. One can never become free of the debt he owes to his guru. A father is the person who teaches and guides a child to navigate this world since his childhood. He should be respected at all times. Enough cannot be said about the role of a mother in a child's life. Right from carrying the baby in her womb, giving birth, nurturing, caring and teaching values for her child, no one can replace the role of a mother in a child's life. Respect for her is intrinsic. In fact, the mother and father are the very first gurus of a child. So, reverence and gratitude towards Mata, Pita and Guru is supreme dharma. Yudhishthira asked, I want to know the relationship between dharma, virtue, artha, wealth and kama, desire. Which of these three keeps a person on the right path? Bhīṣma said all three are connected. All these three are essential to attain the goal of human life, moksha. These three are essentially rooted in free will. One has to use his free will to perform dharmic actions with his artha, wealth and attain the fruits of his desire, kama. There has been a conflict among people whether fate or free will is supreme. Let me tell you a conversation between Vasishta and Brahma to clear this doubt. Brahma gave Vasishta the example of soil and seed. If fate is seed, soil are the actions. With good seeds, we obtain trees and good fruit. With bad seeds, we get wasteland and weeds. For either one of them, for fruits to be obtained, the soil has to be tilled and seed has to be sown. With our efforts of doing actions daily, the seeds of our destiny are sown to yield the fruit of results for today. So, the outcome of today is a combination of both free will and fate. Dharma, artha and kama are not ends themselves, but a means to an end which is moksha. So long as one has kartritva, there is free will. So long as there is bhoktritva, there is fate. But when a person becomes a Jnani Purusha, he surpasses all this and he becomes a mere instrument at the hands of the Lord. Desires that take one towards worldly pleasures and pleasing the senses should not be pursued. These desires for sense objects bring a whole horde of other problems, namely Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya. However, the desire to attain the knowledge of the self will lead him towards moksha, liberation. Hence, dharma, artha and kama should lead towards chitta shuddhi and become moksha sadhanas, and not impediments in his path. Yudhishthira continued. He asked, intellect is said to be above all else in this world. What kind of intellect will help one safeguard and protect himself at all times? Bhīṣma said, in this world, whatever any being does, he will do with his own benefit in mind at all times. Self-preservation and self-interest is a very powerful factor that drives a person to do everything in this world. Unless there is something for their own benefit, nobody will do anything for someone else's sake. The baseline for even loving someone is to get something back in return someday or the other. Hence, there is no one who is a friend forever or an enemy forever. In times of need, a friend can turn into a foe, and similarly, a foe can turn into a friend as well. An intelligent person knows to deal every situation as a standalone and not carry any baggage from his past. Yudhishthira asked, "What is sin and what forces a person to engage in sinful actions?" Bhīṣma replied, "Greed is the root cause of all sin. Because of greed, one becomes sly, cunning, vindictive, malicious, deceptive, delusional, arrogant, proud, anxious, shameless, cruel, and will lose all sense of judgment as well." Yudhishthira wanted to know about ignorance now. Bhīṣma said, "Ignorance is the other aspect of greed itself. They are inseparable from each other. As greed grows, ignorance also grows. On the other hand, self-control takes a person towards being his best self. It makes him patient, forgiving, benevolent, honest, kind, contented, sincere, unattached, free from anger, malice, cruelty, and other such sinful temperaments. Hence, one has to strive with all effort towards self-discipline and self-control," said Bhīṣma. Bhīṣma's talks and Yudhishthira's questions continued. What are our takeaways from this part of the story? These words of advice from Bhīṣma were not just for a king, but applicable to any common man. Every word Bhīṣma spoke is worth contemplating and inculcating in our daily lives. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series we are discussing matters of Mahabharata, because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!